We don't talk about hormones much. And everything we do at Bod Babes leads back to this one subject that I don't mention a lot. It all leads back to hormonal health. Everything that we do at Bod Babes leads back to hormonal health. We've been talking about lifting, we've been talking about tracking, we've been talking about fiber and carb timing. But tonight, I kind of want to put it all together and show you why it matters so much. We're going to talk about hormones. And it's not just hormones like, oh my gosh, I'm getting older, my hormones are crazy. I've been there. I've talked about how it kept me up at night and all the stuff. But what we're going to talk about is how your food choices either help balance your hormones or make you gain fat. Isn't that awful? They make you gain fat, have fatigue, and make your frustration just really worse. But here's the truth. You cannot outtrain, listen to me, you cannot outtrain bad hormone signals. You can't. You cannot outwork bad hormone signals. You have to fix it from the inside. We're going to talk a little bit about what HRT does here in just a little bit, because the first thing that women want to talk about when I talk about hormones is how is HRT going to help me, or is it going to help me at all? But I want to tell you that hormone health begins at your nutrition. Okay? It really begins at your nutrition, and your coach, Allie, me, I have a lot of information on that because I have been on hormone therapy over 16 years. Okay. And I can tell you what it was like when I was on hormone therapy and to not have my diet balanced. And I can tell you what it's like now. And there's a big difference. So, why does food affect your hormones? And that's where we're going to start. Every single time you eat, you're sending a message to your hormones. And it's not just whether it's going to spike or be more stable. Your food sends a message to your insulin, but also your cortisol, to your leptin, your thyroid, all those things. Your body really listens to your food. And I want you to hear that. Your body listens to your food more than it listens to anything else. And that is very true. Food is like communication to your body. And if we give it the right information, the right amounts of proteins, fiber, carbs, and your healthy fats, then our hormones can stay stable. Did you know that? And that's very, very true, even as we age. But if we give it the wrong information, like the processed foods that we all kind of slip up and say, I want a cheat meal, sometimes that's not even real food. It's just chemical substances thrown together. Think about what Cheetos are. What are Cheetos? Is it real food? Is that real food? Or is it just chemicals? Think about it. Think about some of the foods that we eat, like some of the drinks that we drink. Think about them. Powerade. What is Powerade? Is it real nutrition? Huh. I'm going to let you make up your mind. So these processed foods, it's not real food. We're sending our body a signal. When we're skipping meals, we're sending our body a message, a signal. When we have sugar spikes, we're sending our body a message. And our hormones just get chaotic. They don't know what to do. When your hormones are chaotic, ladies, the body holds on to fat and it burns muscle tissue. It slows your metabolism down. It drains your energy. And it makes you feel tired, puffy, moody, and stuck. I have felt that way. And see, some of us are over here, we've been at Bod Babes for a while, and we're like, Allie, I'm getting my protein. I'm getting my carbs. I'm getting my fat. I'm getting my fiber. But then we start breaking it down, and I'm like, are you getting your fiber from real food or fake food or highly processed fiber that really doesn't help your gut. In today's world, it makes it hard to understand our food. You got to think about 200 years ago. Think about that. Just 200 years ago, out of all of time, 200 to 300 years ago, and the rest of all of time, men and women didn't have to think about their food so hard because we didn't have all the chemical processing and all the fake foods that aren't even food. They're just chemicals. Now they're printing meat. What is printed meat? I still have no idea what printed meat is. They're printing meat. It's not even real meat. What is it? Is it plastic? What is it? You know, what is Cheetos? What are Doritos? That's why we just can't look at our calories, ladies. We have to look at our hormonal health every time we sit down to eat. So it's not just protein, but what types of protein, not protein bars and protein drinks. Are those really food? Well, they're highly processed foods, right? So I want you to hear me. So even though we understand our proteins, carbs, fats, and fiber in technical terms, we've got to get down to the foundation of what those are. Our ancestors didn't quite have to go so deep that we do now. We have to relearn. We have to understand what our food should look like. And I'll tell you what they should look like. They should look like foods that don't really have barcodes, all right, that don't really come in boxes and sit on shelves for months at a time and not rot. You got to think about that. And that makes it hard. And we want to tell ourselves, man, that's hard. It's hard to eat like that. But that's how our ancestors ate. And that's how we were created to eat. See, this new way that we're eating, that's not how we were intended to eat and fuel our bodies. I want you to think about that for a minute. Because when we're eating clean, we feel like we're doing something spectacular when we're really doing something normal. Isn't that weird? Because our thought process on that is so different. Instead, we normalize eating all the highly processed foods. And when we go to whole foods and real foods, things that are basically not processed or processed very little, we think of that as being, I'm on a diet. When that is not on a diet, that is what we were created to eat. That's real food. That's nutrition. But we've got it backwards. That's not diet food, ladies. That's not diet food at all. That's real food. And somewhere we've got that off. We've got to think about our hormonal health every time we sit down to eat. And here are some of the symptoms that your food choices are hurting your hormones. I want you to listen to these. If you're noticing any of these symptoms, it's your body waving a big red flag. Constant cravings, especially for sugar or salty foods. Okay? Listen, energy crashes, especially mid-afternoon. Oh my gosh, I used to have those big time. Belly fat. This was mine. I remember saying, why won't this belly fat go away? I felt stuck. No matter how hard I worked, it was not going away. Poor sleep. I had that, even though I took HRT from my doctor. Poor sleep and trouble staying asleep. Bloating. Woof. I still have bloating sometimes. I still do. Depends on what I eat. Water retention, puffiness, all of these things. Mood swings. We don't want to talk about that one, but I had a few of those too. Irritability. Wade can tell you all about my irritability. Depression. Woo, I've been there too. feeling full after eating, but still wanting to snack. I have done that a lot. Slow recovery after workouts. Yep, I've been there. And these aren't just aging, ladies. These are not symptoms of just aging. These are hormone signals. Did you know that? So if we change the signals that we're sending the body, we change the body. So that means if we change the food we eat, then we will change the body. How do we fix it? We fix it the Bod Babes way. And it seems that we are ever learning. We are ever learning. As I look across some of you tonight, Christine, I look at all of you guys. You've been here for a while. You've learned about your proteins, your carbs, your fats, your fiber. Now you're learning about carb timing. And now we're even getting into leptin and ghrelin and all these things that we're looking at as to what is going on with my body, Allie. And because it's complicated. And you want to know why it's so complicated? Because we've been giving our body the wrong communication, and our body is just chaotic. It's getting all of these different foods that aren't really foods, all of these chemicals, all of these foods that are saying, spike your insulin, spike your cortisol, all the stuff. We do it different at Bod Babes, and we're always learning about our nutrition. And it's tough. What we do around here is not for the timid, and it's for women who are fighting against not just hormones. See, we say is we're fighting against hormones. We're really fighting against what we put in our mouth, because that is what signals our hormones. I want you to hear that. I've said it several times, but I want you to hear it. The Bod Babes way, the Bod Babes method. This is why at Bod Babes, we eat in such a specific way. And it sounds crazy, but we're really getting back to how we were built to eat the foods that we were given as humans for fuel. It's not random. It's not trendy, that's for sure. Definitely not trendy, but it's built to heal your hormones from the inside out. And the first thing that we always focus on at Bod Babes is what? Higher protein first. We always focus on protein. It's the foundation. It helps stabilize your blood sugar. It supports your thyroid. It builds lean muscle. It reduces your cravings. Every single meal you eat should be protein forward. We know that at Bod Babes, not because it's trendy, and it is right now, right? But because it tells your body, burn fat, don't store it. It tells your body more than that. Carbs. You know, at Bod Babes, even if you've been working with me for a year, you'll notice that I have learned even more about carbs. I used to be so afraid of carbs. And so many of you women are so afraid of carbs. But we eat carbs around here, but we want to eat them the right way. We want to eat carbs that are timed around our workouts, and we want to eat carbs with fiber. Carbs aren't the enemy. And I'm learning that. And I'm still learning that, because once you go low carb for so many years, it's almost, you can't hardly get that out of your head, is that I can eat carbs. I can eat some rice or some oatmeal every now and then. I still have that in my brain that I shouldn't eat it. But here's the thing, carbs are a tool. We place carbs around our workouts when our body is really primed to use them, to be really honest, to use them for muscle building and recovery from our workouts, not for fat storage. So we're not going to eat them at night before bed. And that's when I usually wanted carbs the most. Give me a bowl of ice cream about 8 o'clock at night, and I was happy and fat and sassy too. I felt great eating it at night. That's when I wanted to eat my carbs, but I was doing it at the wrong time. We want to always make sure that we choose those carbs that are filled with fiber, things like sweet potatoes, berries, quinoa, and sometimes even things that I have preached against, like oats and rice. Whoa, Allie said that out of her mouth. I still can't believe it. because fiber is going to slow your digestion. So we want to make sure that we choose carbs filled with fiber. Fiber controls your blood sugar and it feeds your gut health, which also impacts your hormones. So those of you ladies who are going into the gut health challenge that starts on Monday, the 1st, I'm going to tell you, the gut health is so important to your hormonal health. And that is where fiber comes in. Fiber and gut health go hand in hand and hand in hand with your hormone health. And so many of us have not realized how important our fiber is, and not just fiber numbers, but the quality of that fiber. Not the fake fiber in the, the low carb wraps and the fiber cereals that have the processed fiber in there, but I'm talking about the real fiber. That's what our body can use. It can't use the fake fibers or the highly processed fiber. And we've also learned at Bod Babes how to eat healthy fats in the correct balance. Now, I have heard many, many Bod Babes say, well, they're healthy fats. I would be like, your fats are out of control. And I've had so many women go, well, Allie, they're healthy fats. Well, even healthy fats have to be eaten in balance, ladies. You know, we can't think, well, just because it's good, you can get too much of a good thing. So we're not going to fear fat. We're not going to eat low fat, but we're not going to drown in it, ladies. we are not going to. Fats like avocado, olive oil, nuts, seeds, these are going to build your hormone pathways. But if you undereat your healthy fats, you can block your hormone production. So don't go low fat. You know, I've had some of you ladies come on and say, well, I've been eating low fat because I don't want to eat high fat, and also eating low carb. And guess what they have? Thyroid issues. Thyroid issues. Eating low carb and low fat. And sometimes just women eating low carb, thyroid issues. There's all kinds of things in this crazy world of chemicals and unbalanced eating that affect our thyroid. Thyroid disease is on the rise, especially in America. If you overeat the wrong types of fats, ladies, like fried foods, like the processed oils, you're going to fuel inflammation and make fat gain easier. And listen, inflammation, if I could say it, is one of the key factors to diseases, the big diseases that we don't want to even mention, that are no fun to talk about. Inflammation. So we've got to keep everything in the right balance. And it's so crazy to try to figure it out, right? It's hard. It requires work on our part. But when we balance it right, ladies, and we learn it and we understand it, and really just learn to fuel our bodies. Our bodies will get what it needs without all the backlash. And, you know, we have been frustrated and upset. What is going on with my body? And we think, well, I'm eating pretty clean. We've still given it years and years of highly processed foods. Some of those toxins that we eat in foods, like preservatives and things like that, will go into our fat cells. And did you know this, that our body doesn't want to release fat sometimes because what it's storing in those fat cells? It has to reintroduce those poisons and toxins into our body, back into our body, for us to lose weight. And I want you to think about how the body works. The body is all about you surviving. It just wants you to survive. It wants to protect you. It's not working against you. It's really trying to do its best to work for you, though many of us feel like my body's just working against me, right? I want you to think about this. A lot of times when we're having the processed food and we're trying to lose weight, I want you to think about this. I'm having processed bars and shakes and all the other stuff, trying to lose weight. It's got all the chemicals in that. And then we're getting the cheat meal on top of that and all the chemicals. And then our little fat cells are over here full of chemicals that it didn't want to try to process. It had to put it away And then we're trying to lose weight. And now it's got to not only take the chemicals that we're feeding it every day, but it's got to reintroduce all those toxins and chemicals over in our fat cells into our body. And guess what? Our body does not want to do. It does not want to deal with all that. It's overload. Clean up your diet. All right. Don't think of it as a sacrifice. It feels like a sacrifice. Think of it as loving yourself, as eating as you were intended to eat. And in this society, it can feel like abuse. It almost feels like we're doing something foreign when honestly, eating whole foods and natural foods should be something natural. That's what we were intended to do. When your hormones are off, it throws everything off. It really does. Another thing that we do at Bod Babes is we focus on weight training and not a lot of cardio. Cardio is good, but we focus on weight training a lot. Lifting weights, ladies, is not just about making you stronger. It actually sensitizes your body to insulin. Did you know that? Meaning that your body will handle those carbs better. It'll store less fat. It'll build more muscle. And when they say muscle is metabolically active, that just means that it burns calories at rest. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you're going to burn, even if you're just sitting there. That's a good thing, right? More muscle equals also a healthier hormone balance, which equals easier fat loss. So we want to continue building that muscle. And at Bod Babes, we focus on fiber. And fiber, I like to think of it as like the silent hero, really, the fiber. We've talked a lot about it lately, and I hope you watch the videos. I go and I have video 1, 2, and 3. And if you have not watched them all 3, I want you to reach out and make sure that you watch all those. I want to remind you this. Fiber is a hormone balancer too, okay? It will bind up excess estrogen and it will help clear it out of your body. That's a big deal. Some of you say, well, I don't have excess estrogen. Some of us don't, but some of us do. And when we do, it causes a lot of issues and can even cause issues like estrogen-based cancers that are so scary. So we want to make sure that, if you say, well, Allie, I don't have a problem going to the bathroom, that's great. But that's not all that fiber is about. Fiber is about removing toxins. Fiber is about hormone health. Fiber is about gut health. Fiber is about your blood sugar and causing your body not to have those blood sugar spikes. It feeds your good gut bacteria, which influences every single thing in your body, even your mental health. Isn't that crazy? That fiber has something to do with your mental health. There is the mind-gut connection. Fiber feeds the good gut bacteria and it affects your mood. Did you know that? That many people with depression and anxiety and all of those things have a jacked up gut health. That's all I know how to say it. So fiber also will tell your body how much cortisol to make. Isn't that crazy? Fiber helps you detox the estrogen. It also helps you absorb your nutrients. So, ladies, we want to aim for 25 to 30, sometimes 35 grams of fiber a day. I like it on the high end, but you don't want to jump it up there. If you've not watched those videos, I'm not going to preach again on fiber tonight, but you got to get that fiber up, and not just your overall total number, but your fiber at every meal. Okay. And you want real fiber. You want it from veggies and plants, those kind of things, plant fiber, fruit, even oats. Yes. Not fiber bars, not fiber powders, not Fiber One cereal. All right. Find a better source. Nutrition is really the foundation, ladies, of your hormonal health. And I want you to hear me on this, HRT. I've been on it for over 16 years. It'll be 17 years this coming March. And I've told you all why I was put on it. I was put on it when I was pretty young for HRT. And the reason why was because I was having major problems with my memory. And they did all kinds of tests. My grandmother had Alzheimer's. So I thought I'm getting early onset Alzheimer's. And the truth was, having such low testosterone, mine was 14, affected me mentally to where I was not remembering the names of things and not even remembering my way home from the grocery store. And that was scary in my own hometown. How weird is that? And so I've been on it a long time. I have a lot of experience with hormone therapy. I really do. And HRT can help you in a lot of ways. And I'm totally not against it at all, but it's not the foundation. I will tell you this, it is a tool. It is not a full fix, ladies. It's a tool. If your nutrition is poor, and I want you to hear me, if your blood sugar is unstable, if your gut is inflamed, listen, no patch, no pill, and no shot is going to fix the problem. Nutrition is the foundation on which we build hormonal health. It's the foundation. It's the soil. And if the soil is bad, you can't grow something strong. You can't grow strong, healthy hormones no matter what you add on top, including HRT. Okay. So tonight, I want you to think about every meal that you eat this week as a conversation with your body. As your food, your nutrition is going to tell your body, your hormones, what to do. Every bite you take is either calming your hormones or it's stirring them up. And here's the thing that we forget. We think our hormones are erratic and they're crazy and they're just doing their own thing. And they might be, but we're in control of that. And that is hard. We're in control of that. And so many times, like I said, we think that eating healthy foods is a diet. And it's not. That's actual food. And all these other things that we're eating affect our bodies in such a way that they become chaotic. And we put years upon years and years of that. You get into your 40s and your 50s and your 60s and your 70s, and we think that we're going to fix our protein real fast and we're going to cut our carbs and cut our calories and we're going to lose weight. And guess what our body says? Hold on. It puts the brakes on a lot of times. But here's the thing. We've been in control for years of our diet, but we had no control. We just ate whatever we really wanted sometimes. And we thought it was okay, but it's not. It affects us in so many ways. It has affected us in so many ways physically. It's affected us mentally. It's affected our bodies. As far as health goes, we're in control. And here's the thing I want you to remember. Your body is not broken. You are not broken. And you are not doomed by your age. You are powerful. Did you hear that? It's hard to change. But it's also hard to eat all these things and do all these things we've been doing and live with the outcome of it. And you ladies are fighters. Bod babes are not typical ladies. They are fighters. They are women who do not just accept the everyday norm. We do research. We learn at Bod Babes. What you're doing at Bod Babes is showing up. You're lifting physically heavy shit, right? You're getting stronger all the time. By the month, you're lifting heavier weights if you're doing it right. That's how you got to do it. You're tracking your food, requires work. You're learning how to fuel yourself again. You're starting over with that. Sometimes I've been starting over. I'm still learning every day. We're learning to give our bodies exactly what they need to heal from all the abuse of the years that we have put all these toxins and things that are not foods into our bodies. Our bodies are learning how to heal and how to thrive. This work that we're doing here, ladies, it's not fast. I wish it was. Believe me, I'm on board with you. It's not easy. I wish it was. I'm on board with you with that. But it works. It can be so frustrating at times, but it works. And it's the right way. It really is. And I want you to stay the course. I want you to feed your hormones. I want you to fuel your power. And I want you to change your story. And by that, I mean change the story that you are telling yourself about this bod babe's life, about tracking your food. I heard one of my clients say, and this is not just one person, I've heard this multiple times. This client got up and went to the gym on a Monday morning. And she said, "What kind of life is this that I've got to get up on a Monday morning and work out before work?" And she felt like, oh, that was awful. And in my mind, I heard, what kind of life is this? I get to go to the gym and work out and heal my body on a Monday morning. I'm so excited. That's me. I've changed my way of thinking. And I want you to change that story you tell yourself. Just like when I went out with my friends and I would be so upset. They're all drinking, they're all eating all the stuff. I'd be on a diet. Oh God, here we go. I'm on a diet again. I'm never going to enjoy tonight. My story was awful. I was just like, oh, I can't do it if I don't have a drink. And I heard Tony Robbins say something and it hit me. And I thought he changed his mindset on food and he patted himself on the back when he pushed his plate away for the first time in many years and just felt great about it. He changed the way he thought about it. He changed his story. And he was like, huh, you can do this, Tony. You pushed that food away, boy. Look at you go. And I thought, I'm going to go in that restaurant and I'm going to have fun and I'm not going to have a drink and I'm going to be proud of myself and I'm not going to discuss it with my friends and I'm not going to tell them why if they ask. I'm just say, oh, this is what I decided to eat or this is what I decided to drink today. We're still going to have fun and just go on. And when I changed my story, I had so much fun anyway. And I wasn't drinking and eating all the trash, but I also didn't have all of the regret when I left the restaurant. Oh, I failed again. Oh, I just can't do it. I had to change my story. Remember, your food talks to your hormones, ladies. Your protein stabilizes. Your carbs are going to give you fuel. Your fiber is going to protect. Your fats build. You are not broken. You are rebuilding. It takes time. And HRT, it can support you, but nutrition is the foundation. I call HRT a band-aid. It helps, but without your nutrition being right, your HRT is going to be all over the board. I've experienced it for many, many years. And now my hormones are really, really stable. I'll go in and my doctor says, huh, your testosterone's been really stable. I can't believe it. Your estrogen, my estrogen was really stable. I'm almost 58 years old. How did that happen? Because my nutrition is feeding my hormones and telling them what to do, and I'm keeping my nutrition on point. Your meal, every meal, ladies, is a chance to heal. Okay, it's a chance to heal. And I want to say, I see the same ladies right here show up almost every single week. I see you. And I am so proud of you, ladies. You're doing the hard work. I want you to change your story on that too. I want you to commend yourself. I want you to be proud of yourself. when you make a decision that's not so easy to make. I want you to encourage yourself. I want you to hold your head high instead of dragging it down and, oh my God, I'm never going to do it. I don't know if I can do this. I want you to look and see the accomplishments that you've made so far. And I want you to be proud of yourself. All right. Is it a deal? Can you do that for me? So, in our group tonight, in our accountability group, I'm getting ready to get off right off of here. But I'm going to drop this video just as soon as I upload it to YouTube. Might take a little bit, but I'm going to ask every single one of you beautiful ladies to say something about yourself that is wonderful, that you like, or that you've accomplished while being here at Bod Babes that was hard, but you have done it. I want you to be proud of that. And I want you to speak it out. And I want you to let that empower you and strengthen you to be proud of yourself. You're not just the normal 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old woman. You aren't. You should be proud. You're outstanding. You're working for goals. You're believing in yourself. You're pushing yourself. I love you, ladies, and I'm so thankful that you're here. And thanks for joining me tonight.